their team playing what's it called? Fucking lethal. I felt like 10 times in a row, which they did do that like when they got the ranks, and I think lethal actually has denied like Ace and his team with like Boo Boo Doo and like those guys, like pretty much the ranks from like oppressing them at the 40s, But like
Yeah.
Ace doesn't. You could just tell so much, like literally fucking. Well, not only the rivalry there, but like just how fed up, like he is with the fact of like, damn, like I'm literally playing the same fucking guy over and over again.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over.
And it's just like for me, it's not even that. It's like at least if I get to play pros, like I get to play pros and get my shit pushed in. Or I shouldn't even say that, but yeah, like that way.
Yeah, we would get fucked, but at least like. Again, like if we could, the same thing I said, we keep playing main Slayer, we could have kept losing, and then hopefully like talk about it and learn,
Yeah.
like from it. But I could, like I said, the frustration I could tell,
Yeah.
and I'm like, we're not going to learn anything from talking because it's just going to be very generic. Like we're not working as a team or this and that. And I'm like, that's not constructive, you know. Because
Not
of
only
the
that,
frustration.
did we even know what server we were playing with those guys too? Because that could have been a factor. I think we were probably playing on West Coast.
I don't remember. I know you took over.
I still had all my stuff enabled though at that point.
Yeah. So.
Not that that's like the biggest factor, but still like it's.
Yeah, it could have been anything at that point.
Yeah.
Something on the cherry on top, and it's just like, we're playing the same team. You're not going to just learn in the moment like that when, right on the spot. It's something that you have to like play as a team. Play like great grades, and that's what skill-based matchmaking is for, to play grades to work your way up to a certain tier. And like when you're getting thrown in with a deficit of 10 ranks plus, then I mean like you're gonna be, it's like the New England Patriots or going against the Browns or some shit. Not that we're the Browns, but we're more like an Atlanta Falcons team.
Well, me and Cody do talk a lot when you're gone. We mentioned like skill-based matchmaking, and like I do think that it should search, like obviously like if you're a team of 4, it should prioritize a team of 4, but like throw in randoms if you have to for us to get a game. I think playing against like a group of randoms, we can easily see our mistakes. Like if we'll probably destroy a group of randoms, but if they somehow can break a setup on us, then we're like, all right, how the fuck did they do that? They're randoms, you know what I mean? Not just like, that's how I feel like you should play games. Not just like, wow, they're randoms, they got lucky, whatever. What did they do?
Right.
Because,
exactly.
Some shit does happen by accident, but like if people break our setup, because easily we have to figure out why. Because we need to go into the next event and hit top 32 without any fucking problems.
Yeah, I agree.
Just
seeing that, for me, seeing that the team that skunked us got skunked was a big like, I don't want to say discouragement, but like just an eye opener of being like, holy fuck, the gap that we're at versus the guys that skunked us that got skunked or whatever, 3-1 or whatever it was. I think they got skunked, and so I'm just like, holy shit. But yeah, like just like having the deficit of like 10 ranks. Like this is what goes back to player pop. If there was enough people here, then we would be gradually playing, harder competition, thus developing the chemistry, thus developing, everything that we need to have in sync.
Yeah.
When you get, those guys could have been playing for a decade for all we know.
Main Slayer has been. I played him on console when like the game was really dead. He hasn't stopped.
The guy that we played in hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I played him in Team Slayer and in hardcore. He is a good player.
Yeah.
He hasn't stopped, which obviously it does benefit for the people who, if they quit and come back. So he's got the list. Those guys they weren't jokes. They knew what they were doing. Me and Cody went over some of that gameplay, and I was like, yeah, look at this dude. He, fucking, I can't even slurp. He was one shot so many times, and he'd just get away, and then he'd be behind us. And I was like, bro, what's going on here?
Yeah, that needs to. I would like to see that.
Well, I don't have those films anymore, unfortunately.
think
there was a miscommunication too.
when we get skunked on narrows, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah. We're like when we play these guys over and over, it's not gonna be good. Like we can try to do our best, whatever. Like it's just not gonna be good. Like the fact that they could skunk us that quick, like something very wrong.
For sure.
Can I get leader? I just want
Yeah.
to try switching again. I know
Very
it
good.
probably won't help, but it's worth a try. There was only one. I remember this one, and it's nobody's fault, but it was on the pit. There was a situation where you were S1 and you died, and then like the snipe was like out front, and then like Jay just didn't go for it, and I was like, what happened here? Because he just didn't know. That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
It was like little things like that where I'm like, he died because he went up the sword and he got called out and they 3-manned him. But like maybe if he got that sniper, he could have hopefully lifted tower and done something. So it was just like little things like that didn't get called out either. So
Well, the thing was too, like just proportionally on that map, they were always asserting pressure. That was the game that we started out hot, I believe, and then like and I think I had snipe and I was actually like getting some assists and like I was putting in shots on a lot of kids, getting them one shot or whatever, and then they would obviously fucking turtle or whatever, but we were doing good, and then they just asserted map pressure by being at banana, by being at like literally all the little peaks and stuff at sword spawn, sword, whatever.
It was yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll tell you when we went wrong because we watched it. We were up 24-22. They got the OS and then they got 3 of us down.
Yeah.
The OS is what made the gap happen.
And specifically, I believe it was the OS right before a rocket.
Yep.
And which is that much more important.
Yeah, and I had rockets and it was in green, and I traded because we were close up. I was like alive, but then I instantly died, and then they were down. But I mean, after that point, so yeah, I died. I think someone else died with me at green, and then they got that OS, and then OS guy got 3 kills.
Yep.
So
yeah, that sounds about like it would do it.
That's where the main turning point pretty much happened. And then we just couldn't get back after that.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they established themselves on our tower. They were on our training. They would, be at our needles. There was always somebody on our side of the map, like, just giving us hell. And that's only allowed when you're not able to, contest the map from a symmetric standpoint, like standoff or something.
Yeah, wiggle your stuff. Yeah. A lot of people, I'm trying to remember how we would play that, like how my team played it on Reach. I know it's not the same thing, but
is this social or what is this?
It's social. Yeah. I'm just because I like to play pit slow.
You said always go on green and go down green hall and like rocket hall or something like that.
On flag, like. I purely believe in the green, like being green and long haul. If someone goes sword and he's solo and the rest of the team is dead, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
On Slayer, I still think it's slower pace, but I mean, it still feels like everyone loves to play on Snipe Tower.
Yeah.
And I know Cody said he likes to play slow, and I don't disagree with playing slow, kill for kill, or staying alive.
Yeah.
But we have to just play more and then fill out what we like to do as a team. It's not just subjective about what I like to do or what Cody likes to do. It's got what benefits for everybody.
I think playing aggressive might what? I don't know. I think there's a lot of times though, like when there's a time to play slow and there's a time to play aggressive. You have to know when to do both.
Yeah.
Because there's been games where I've noticed like we're not asserting pressure or we're playing passive, and then be like, well, we might have lost because of this.
Yeah.
So.
It's just probably the small talk again. You know, if you're like, hey, I want to be aggressive or suggest it, you know, so we can all be on the same wavelength, because you know you instantly think you're like we need to be aggressive here, but then you know I might not be thinking the same thing. I'm
So
still
like, yeah. So like Amplified or Onslaught, for instance, those maps, since like I've seen when we used to have success on those maps, there is no playing like not aggressive on that map. You have to be in their face, like forcing their spawn, predicting where they're gonna spawn, and then literally getting shots in when they're spawning.
Yeah.
And that that's just, you're gonna lose if a team's doing it. And every time we've lost, it's always been the more aggressive team.
Oh, for sure.
And coordinated, with that being said.
So far, from what you know, when we play together, I still kind of like playing how I did on past teams, where I'm still kind of like an anchor support dude. So staying window on midship, or like being on amplified and staying like top of the base.
Oh yeah, that's good for sure.
Putting out shots. I don't mind taking that role. I don't care about getting the most kills out of the group, but you know, I'll save your ass out of the situation.
There's 3 on the bottom.
So, but you know, again, I feel like teams need to be flexible all around. But I personally, that's what I like to do.
Yeah, you've got like your base play, and then you've got your all right, it's time to kick it into this gear kind of play.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, like with the pros on all these teams. That's the one thing that you notice. Like everyone's like, oh, like APGs, like the Raw Slayer, or like this guy Lethal, or whatever. And it's like the thing is, like if you give them a certain role at any opportune time, they can fill that. You know, so if one needs to play support, one needs to play, you know, be the anchor, or one needs to be objective. You know, like that they're all well rounded. Or if they have a snipe, they just absolutely go off. Like, you know. But at the same time, I do agree with the philosophy of having people that have their strengths, and then you know, being proactive to capitalize off that. But yeah, it's just kind of knowing that and stuff like that. So for me, I like to kind of play aggressive sometimes. More so, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I would be specific as far as my gameplay. It definitely varies.
Yeah. From my experience, I feel like there are certain playstyles and routes that most players like to play. So, like, if you're talking about the aggressive, I know it's kind of standard, like, ways of being aggressive. So, like, you know, I'd be able to know what you're thinking about doing and supporting, because, like, I used to play with someone who was super fucking